All right. We'll take a comfortable seat. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Drop the nose just a bit toward the floor and soften or close the eyes. Tuning into how you're breathing and the state of the body. Encouraging the breath to lengthen out, particularly the exhale. Feel the connection of earth beneath you, all the parts of the body in contact with the earth. I feel the connection with the air and space above and around you, the ether, that vata energy. So noticing if there's anything out of balance in your being today, any aspect that you would like to shift over your practice, trying to identify the qualities of that imbalance. Remembering the way to shift an imbalance is the opposite of those qualities. So focusing on the energies that would be balancing to the being. Coming back to the flow of the breath. On your next inhale, slowly open the eyes and come back into your space. Let's do a side bend. We'll take that left hand down, right hand up and over. So as we move through our practice today, you can continually connect with what you need to come back to balance. And inhale, up and over to the other side. Inhale, back up center. Let's take the hands back by the hips, maybe a little bit beyond, just a little bit behind. Draw the shoulders back and let's lift the center of the chest up toward the ceiling. Pelvic bone can tip forward, coming into a bit of an arch in the back. Inhale, come on back up to center. I'm going to keep the legs as they are and come forward here. So walk your hands forward. You might let the head drop down if that feels okay. Trying to keep the sit bones down, just breathing into the hips. Now on an inhale, we come on up from there. And whatever leg is in front, we're going to leave it there. We're going to take your other leg and try to bring your knee to your foot. And so I'm going to take the foot, your other foot out to the side. Yeah, so your hip may come a little bit off the mat. That's okay. You can start to try and root it down. You might start to feel this in the hip. From here, we're going to do a twist. So lengthen up through the top of the head and turn over toward your front knee side and keep twisting. Now, as you twist, that hip, opposite hip will come off the mat. So start to open the belly over to the side. Breathing. You can keep twisting. Maybe you can go all the way behind you. On inhale, roll on back to center. And then that front knee, we're going to come over that front knee. Take both hands down onto the floor. You might start to drop the chest down. Maybe your nose can touch the knee. You might bring your head down. On inhale, we'll come on back up. gonna switch here. So we're going to take your opposite leg in front, whichever one was the other one. We're coming back to our seated position. And then from here, a forward bend. Walking the hands forward, let the head drop. Keep breathing into the hips. On inhale, we'll come on back up. And then we'll take that opposite knee to your foot. So as you do that, you'll get this little bit of a connection here. So that hip may come up. We're going to lift up to the top of the head and twist. So walk the hands around. Breathing into the belly and the twist. On inhale, we'll come on back up to center. And then coming over that front knee, starting to drop down. You can walk your hands forward, maybe bring the nose down toward the knee. Then on inhale, we'll come on up. Release the legs. We're going to work our way into hands and knees. And then with hands and knees, a little bit of cat-cow. Synchronizing the breath with the movement. Keeping that nice, easy breathing. And the next time you're in cat pose, that'll be the last one, and we'll come back to a neutral spine. And let's do the twist. We'll keep the right hand down on your inhale, left hand up toward the ceiling. Exhale, slide the hand along the floor to the other side. Full exhale. Inhale and open. Exhale and reach. Inhale and open. Exhale and through. Inhale and open. And exhale, reach, hold, and breathe. On inhale, we'll come on back to center. And then we'll do the other side. Left hand down on your next inhale, right hand up toward the ceiling. Exhale, reach through to the other side. Inhale and open. Exhale and reach. Inhale and open. Exhale and through. And inhale and open. Exhale, reach, hold, and breathe. On inhale, we'll come on back to center. All right, we're going to need a blanket, 2 blocks, and a strap. The blanket, we're going to set onto your mat. So I'm turning just to make it a little easier to see. You have a folded up blanket for your knees. You're going to have 2 blocks at the top of your mat. And you'll have your strap. And we'll start with the strap on the right side. And just set it on the floor. So from here, you're going to bring your hands up onto your blocks and your knees on your blanket. So nice and padded on the knees. And then take your left foot and see if you can place it up by your hands. If you need to help that, you can do that. So left foot up by your hands and then kind of slide it a little forward so that your front knee is not directly over your ankle right away. So it's a little bit bent, but forward. And your hips are starting over your right knee here. From here, we're going to take the hips forward and bring that front knee over your ankle. So getting a nice stretch on the back quadricep here, our hip flexor. If you need more space, you can always scoot your front foot forward. The tailbone drops down toward the floor, directly between the feet. So we're not in an arch in the lower back. Just breathing here. And letting those hips open up. I'm going to take now both hands to the block that's to the inside of your front foot. So your right block. I'm going to bring both hands onto that block. And now if you want, you could drop down to a lower level on your block or even lose the block and come down onto the floor with both hands here. So any one of those. Keep your knee over your ankle. Keep the legs where they are. You're starting to drop the chest down toward the floor. So just finding where that edge for you is. Breathing here. Yeah. So if your hands are all laying on the floor and you think you can go lower, start to bend your elbows and drop down. And if you're at the bend in your elbow stage, your front knee will start to go out to the side. And that is okay. But maybe you're not there yet and we've got hands on blocks and elbows straight. That's totally okay. Again, we're trying to feel this in the hips. In case you're curious, this is half lizard pose. If it was full lizard pose, the back knee would be off the mat. All right, we're gonna slowly work our way out of that. And let's come on back up to an Anjaneyasana. So you're gonna bring your hands back on your blocks. The hips are still forward. And then drawing into your core, we're gonna work the hands up onto the thigh or the knee. So still keep the hips forward, make sure they didn't come back. And try and keep hips forward, tailbone down. Notice here, you have to engage the muscles to pull into your core. Find that stability in the posture. If you feel solid here, you could lift one arm or maybe both arms up over your head for full Anjaneyasana. Tailbone down, protecting the lower back, breathing. And then release the hands down. I'm going to bring the hands to, that's actually bring them to the center of the heart. And lean forward here and try to hook your right elbow to the outside of your knee. And then you can start to twist, start to open the chest toward the other side, over toward the left. And inhale, we'll unwind the twist, bring your hands back to your blocks. Now we're going to take the hips back over your knees and then towards your back foot. The front toes will come off of the mat, lengthening out your front knee. You could bring your hands down onto the floor and start to drop your nose down as much as you want over that left leg. And inhale, we'll come on back up. So now you're going to take your strap and try and lasso your back foot. So this is probably the hardest part. try to make a loop with your strap and see if you can get around your back foot. Yeah, I think this is the hardest part. And from here, you can use your blocks as assistance. We're going to try and take those hips forward again. Start to bend your back knee and see if you can slip your straps over your shoulder. Now, Nancy's going to be super careful here. If this is too much on your knees, then you can drop the strap and not worry about it. We're going to try and work our way back forward again, back into our Jul23 by holding the strap over the shoulder. So this is going to challenge balance. This is going to challenge the openness of the hips. So draw into your core here. Yeah, use any padding you need on your back knee. If you really want more here, and if you're ready, you could take your hands off of your block and lift the hand over the head. It's totally optional. You could keep your hands down or on your side. Good. Nice couple breaths here. We're almost done. Draw into the core. And then I'm going to go ahead and release. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and draw that front foot back into hands and knees. Again, move your strap to the other side. And as you're ready, we're going to work our way to the second side. So you want to make sure that padding is adequate on your knees. And also, when the foot is up, just as an FYI, when that foot is up behind us, you want to make sure you're not in a position on the kneecap that's going to hurt. So mainly trying to get more toward the top of the kneecap and more toward the thigh. So what we'll do, work on that too in the next side. So let's take your left foot and we'll scoot it forward. I'm sorry, right foot, right side, second side. Scooting it forward. And we're starting just with a little slight bend in the knee to make sure we get that foot far enough forward. And then we're going to bring the hips forward, tailbone toward the floor, using the blocks as needed here. And just letting the hips open. Breathing into where we're feeling the strongest sensation. And then from here, I'm going to take both hands to the inside block, to that left block, or all the way onto the floor. Coming into our half lizard pose, starting to drop the chest down as much as it wants to go toward the floor. So if you do have your hands on the floor, you might be able to start bending your elbows. If you are up higher and elbows are straight, then you should keep that knee over your right knee over your ankle. But as you start to go lower, that knee will naturally go out to the side. And from here, we're going to work our way up with our hands on the knee or the thigh. Try to keep the hips forward still. Coming into our Anjaneyasana. If you want here, you could take one hand up or both hands up toward the ceiling. Breathing. And then release the hands now to the center of the heart. Lean forward and coming into the twist. Try to hook your elbow to the outside of the knee and start to open the chest over toward the right. Try to keep those hips still in line. Breathing. On inhale, we'll unwind, twist. And straighten that front leg now, taking the hips back toward your left foot. The toes can come up on your right leg, right foot. And you can start to drop down here, taking the nose toward the knee as much as you like. And inhale, we'll release that. Now I'm going to try to lasso your left foot with your strap. Always one side that's a little bit more challenging. And we're going to be working our way back into that Anjaneyasana. So make sure your padding is in the right place on your left knee. I'm going to try to take your strap over your left shoulder. Hips come forward. And then starting to lift the chest. And you could keep your hands down on a block. You could bring your other hand up onto your thigh. You could take it up over your head. Just whatever is your challenge place here. So pulling into your core, finding that balance by drawing from your front foot to your back knee. The more you pull on the strap, the more to bring that foot closer to your hip. And then go ahead and release. Come on out. Good work on that. Release that front foot, release your strap. We're gonna flip around on to sit on your mat. Move your blankets. And sitting on your mat with your knees bent. We're going to take your hands back behind, thumbs toward your center body, fingertips on the floor. So just bringing your fingertips down. I'm going to draw the inside armpit area of the arms back toward what's behind and let the chest pop through. Seeing if you can feel that. It's almost like a little bit of a back bend in the back. Starting to feel the chest come forward. You're going to try and keep that. Keep your elbows straight and then lean back to bring your palms down onto the floor, fingers pointing towards your feet. Try to keep the elbows straight as much as you can. Chest pops through and up toward the ceiling, almost like a back bend. From here, you're going to scoot your feet in just a little bit closer, hip distance apart, outside edges of the feet parallel. You're going to push down into your hands, make the arms really strong, chest really lifting. Push down into your feet now and start to lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Now, you may not be able to get all the way to where the hips are in line with the knees and the shoulders. That's okay. I just want you to kind of feel here, feel the arms, feel the shoulders. The head can go wherever it wants. When you've had enough, lower the hips down to the floor. Good, and release. Let's come all the way down onto the back now. And we'll draw the knees in toward the chest and wide, so they're coming towards your shoulders. Wrap your hands around your shins or knees, squeezing in here. And keeping the knees wide, we'll kick the feet up for a happy baby pose. You can reach up for the outsides of your feet or the ankles or shins. You might kick side to side, or you might draw the arms down toward the floor and really start to pull on the feet, either way. And then I'll release the feet down to the floor. I'm going to come in a supported bridge pose. Grab a hold of a block. For supported bridge, you have 3 levels on your block. You get to choose. I'm going to push into your feet to lift your hips. Move your block under your sacrum bone, bony part of the rear end. So it's not on the lower back, and the hips feel like they are supported. And once you're here, the tops of the shoulders can start to draw down toward the floor, feeling that supported arch in the back. And just bring the elbows down onto the floor and close to the body. Just bring the hands down to the belly. Just relaxing and breathing here. So elbows on the floor, hands just on the belly or the sides of the belly. We're trying to breathe into where the hands are. So breathe into the belly. And from here, we'll release the hands to hold the blocks. Make sure it's not going to slide. You're going to take the feet now up toward the ceiling. It's kicking them up. If you need to adjust your block, you could bring your feet back down, make whatever adjustments you need, and then take the feet up again. So tops of the shoulders are pushing down onto the floor. Feet up toward the ceiling. Let's circle the feet. We're kind of rolling at the ankles. And then circling in the other direction. Coming back to stillness. Now we'll bend the knees, bring them back down to the floor in our supported bridge pose. And then walk your feet forward across the floor. So straight forward, starting to straighten out your knees. And then feel a strong stretch across the front of the hips and maybe a bit in the lower back. And then we'll walk the feet in, coming back into supported bridge pose. Push into the feet, lift the hips, remove your block, and lower the hips down to the mat. And then we'll pick up the feet and draw the soles of the feet together. Let's reach down and grab a hold of your ankles or your feet. Knees go wide. Let's reclined Baddha Konasana. And then we're going to straighten the legs coming into a reclined straddle position. So the legs out, feet out wide. Knees are straight. Your hands could be on any part of your legs. You might press through your heels, draw your toes back down toward the floor. And reconnecting with your breath. And we'll draw the feet back in. Let's do thread the needle pose. Left foot onto your right knee. Left foot on your right knee, picking up your right foot off the floor, drawing that in close towards you. You could either wrap your hands around your right thigh, taking your left hand through the little triangle, or you could straighten your right leg and wrap your hands around your leg above your left foot. So you might go all the way up towards your right foot. You might be somewhere on the shin. And we'll release that side and work our way to the other side. Right foot on your left knee. And either through the triangle around the thigh or above the foot onto your left leg somewhere. And release the legs. Bring the feet back down to the floor. Let's extend the right leg long, left foot on the right side. Right hand comes to the left knee and that's committed a twist. Take that knee all the way over to the right side. Left shoulder stays down, chest open. And on the inhale, we'll come on back up to center. And we'll switch sides, extending the left leg long, right foot on the left thigh, left hand on the right knee, and all the way over to the left side. Keep the right shoulder down and enjoy the twist. On inhale, come on back to center. And it's time for Shavasana. We'll work our way into corpse pose. Draw the awareness back to the breath in the body. Let's notice, how are you doing now? How are the energies in the body? Are we any closer to balance than we were at the beginning of practice? As you're ready, you can allow movement to return and slowly make your way to a seated position. And stay at the heart. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all next time. Namaste.